Hi, I'm Mary.
And I'm Katie, and this is The Housewife Did It.
Pop culture edition. No costumes this year.
Sorry. But also because
We're
we
not
have
sorry.
less episodes, it is currently October 5th.
Mm-hmm.
So less time to costume ourselves.
Yeah, true.
But
All right.
Mary will certainly have some bangers this year, as she always does for Halloween. So we'll post them.
I've narrowed it down to 2 though.
Nice.
One for school and one for Halloween.
Nice.
But this is Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
Ghostface. I'm shocked that they let us make this.
Mm-hmm.
But
It's
whatever.
true. Mm-hmm.
So all of our Halloween merch is out.
Mm-hmm.
If you love Halloween and you love us, you could buy some. I need to fix the Real Housewives of Hell one because it doesn't say the housewife did it, I don't think.
Oh.
And then maybe we'll have more.
We have witchy ones.
Before Halloween.
Mm.
Um,
yeah.
But I mean, also Christmas. Get
Mm-hmm.
for your friends. So yeah. And then when people see you wearing it, you can tell them.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
So smart.
All
And
right.
that's on marketing.
Yeah. I'm really good at it. So. All right, ready?
Yes.
Okay. So, Jax Taylor
Mm-hmm.
marked on his divorce papers.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't know what a divorce is, it's the legal ending of a legal marriage.
Mm-hmm.
But he put on his divorce papers that he and Brittany were never legally married.
Mm-hmm.
To which we say, why then do you need divorce papers? Then if you're not married, you could just break up.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if he's trying to insinuate that, like, at this point they're, like, common law.
Yeah.
And so all they need is, like, a dissolution of
Yeah.
that. But I'm like...
Or if it's, or like people are calling it divorce papers, but it's something else because they have a child. I also saw someone say, like, that he marked that on one side of the paper, but then marked that they were legally married on the other side. And they were like, is he just so stupid he checked the wrong box?
Mm-hmm.
On the front. I don't know. But Brittany said, regardless, she said, let me say something because we 100% are legally married. And Lance Bass backed her up. He said that since he was their ordained minister, he signed the paperwork, which you and I know doesn't necessarily mean they're married because you then have to turn it in.
Yep.
But whatever. Regardless, it's also come out that he has apparently given Brittany full physical custody of Cruz.
Mm-hmm.
Which
But
again, like, makes me wonder if it's not divorce paperwork and is like something different for custody.
Yeah, it's
People just
probably
think
a
it's divorce papers.
combination.
But
The most interesting part about this to me was that he wrote on there that Brittany has been, like, the primary caretaker of Cruz since 2019.
right.
But Cruz was born in 2021. Cool. 2 years in gestation.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool.
I don't even know what to say to that.
So, I don't know what Jax was doing when he wrote these papers, but
Yeah, a mess.
it's not great.
Speaking of breaking up, Selena Gomez sparked breakup rumors when she got down.
My God, did she got
down at the Sabrina Carpenter concert, and her friend posted like a picture of her hand with like her wedding ring and said like it's so weird being like the only married person in a Sabrina Carpenter concert amongst all my single friends. And then so people were like, oh, like Selena Gomez is single.
Mm-hmm.
And so the friend then said like, oh no, I just meant like not married.
Mm-hmm.
Selena and Benny are still together, very much in love. Like, please don't stress about that.
Yeah. Yeah, he
But I really
commented.
just wanted to sneak in a comment about her video.
Yeah, he commented on it and said, "Can't keep my hands to myself." Which also made people think like, "Oh, is he there?" No, he's not. She was
No, he's just
also
making a Selena Gomez reference.
yes, he was also she was also dancing on a man there,
Mm-hmm.
and that like went everywhere, of course. And then everyone's like, "No, it's fine, like he's gay." And then everyone else was like, "Oh, so you'd let your man dance on a lesbian?" And like it sparks this whole thing, and finally Selena Gomez came out and said like, "So I'm not allowed to dance on my friend."
Yeah.
Like it doesn't matter.
Yeah, if my husband was close friends with the lesbian, I don't think I would care
And
if he was dancing with her.
also, like, even if he's straight, like, if that's what
Yeah.
her, if like Benny knows this guy and they're
Yeah.
cool and fuck off, everyone.
He's like confident in their relationship.
Yeah,
I think it'd be
but she
weird if my
really was.
husband danced on any kind of stranger,
Yeah, for sure.
male, female, gay, straight.
You'd have to go
But if they're
apologize to that person.
friends, yeah, if they're friends and they're
Yeah,
together at a concert, like what's the big deal? Um,
that yeah, her
my
dancing
neck
was something
hurts
though.
so bad. Also in the Taylor Swift cinematic universe,
Mhm.
Travis Kelsey
Mhm.
made his TV debut on Grotesquerie.
Mhm.
I personally think he killed it, especially for his first show. People are pointing out, and there's a part where someone asks him what's his favorite dessert, and he says Pop Tarts. And
Cute.
people are like, "Oh, he must have like ad libbed that. Like he couldn't say Taylor Swift's homemade Pop Tarts, so he just said Pop Tarts." But I will say, I was surprised at his role in the show that he is Niecy Nash's love interest. I didn't see that coming.
No.
Maybe I should have. Maybe I have some issues for why I couldn't picture him with Niecy Nash, but um it's actually like kind of cute. Like
Yeah. Okay.
he's like obsessed with her. Like
Wait, that's cute.
it's
No, I
really
can't
cute.
see
Like
it though.
he's like he's like there's one part where they like pull up to her house and she's like I would invite you inside, but like it's complicated cuz her husband's in a coma. And she's like my daughter's inside, and he was like is she fine like you? And she was like,
Travis.
stop. Oh my
Oh.
god. But then she asked him to come stay at her house with her daughter as like a bodyguard kind of
Oh.
thing. And the daughter's like grilling him, and he's like, why can't you just leave me the fuck alone? And she's like, it's cute. I'm at this point solely watching it for that
Yeah.
because everything else is disturbing me.
Oh.
But anyway, Chappell Roan,
Mhm.
my gal, she we have somehow in the past month lived long enough to see the rise and potentially the fall of Chappell Roan. She is never beating the
She
diva
called it.
allegations.
She said, "Rise and fall. I'm gonna
Yeah,
give it all to you."
yeah. So first, she made many videos
Okay.
refusing to endorse a presidential candidate. She said, "I will not be doing that. Sorry." She said, like, basically that like there's not she said that she said like she can't vote for a cisgender person and expect them to like truly care about transgender rights was like
Okay.
one of the things I think she said, and then something about how like neither of them have said anything about Palestine.
Mhm.
And so like she had like reasons, and that's fine. And then she made one more video where she's like screaming, and she says like I'm not endorsing anyone, but like I have to make a choice. So yes, I'm voting for fucking Kamala.
Come on,
That's not her
Chapel.
name.
Come on, Chapel.
That that is not her name. So I think that like people are saying like first of all, you have to be fucking stupid at this point not to know how to say her name.
Mhm.
So it feels like very intentional to mispronounce her name. But like secondly, she's going on this rant about how Kamala Harris cannot possibly be an advocate for trans rights because she is not a trans woman, and she doesn't care about what's happening in Palestine because she hasn't said anything and all of these things. but then like Chappell Roan as a white woman
A cis white woman.
very carelessly mispronounced her name, which is like not like as like a microaggression, but like
Sure.
it's still like the whole reason you didn't want to vote for this person is because of all of these like minute details,
Mm-hmm.
and like and then like you just completely gloss over how to say her name.
Yeah, and I think like I knew and understood like the Gaza side
Yeah,
of things for her, and I
yeah,
knew that like a lot of people don't feel like they can like give a full-bodied endorsement
yeah.
until a ceasefire is like at
Mm-hmm.
least asked for, and I understand that.
Mm-hmm.
Um yeah, the idea that they can't advocate for trans people when like Chapel
Yeah,
herself is not a trans
right,
person and
right,
has been perfectly able to
right.
advocate for trans people is interesting. And I saw where she said like their policies are like blatantly or dangerously, I don't remember what word she used, transphobic.
Mm-hmm.
And I would be interested to know what policies
Yeah,
she's referencing.
yeah,
Because sure, if it's just like that it's not being talked about enough or like it's not their focus, like I think
mm-hmm.
that's fair. But
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah. It was
Aaron?
certainly like not a good look.
Yeah. And people
Then
have really been trying to rally behind her
yes,
and say, like, no, she's not a diva. All the headlines I read say Chappell Roan and fans are changing toxic fandom. They're
yeah,
changing toxic celebrityness, whatever. And then I'm just like, oh, I don't know anymore. I
yeah,
think people are starting to get bugged.
yeah. I will say, I certainly think that's how I would handle becoming famous.
Sure.
I would absolutely like do poorly.
I would need a lot of mental
Yeah.
health days. I'd be
Yes.
like, get off my dick, leave me
Yes.
alone.
Um, which is why this is my medium into stardom
Mm-hmm.
and not a musical career, as I had once hoped.
Mm-hmm.
So then she canceled like pretty shortly after all of that went down. She canceled one of her shows, and like she kind of worded it just like I can't like give 100% of myself on stage tonight. People are pointing out that apparently she has bipolar disorder,
Mm. Okay.
and like a one like I think they said
But sure.
bipolar disorder too,
Okay.
and then like and like depression, and so they're like she's like obviously like talking about her mental health, which like she doesn't have to disclose like I'm having a bipolar
Episode
episode,
or
I'm in
flare,
a
whatever.
manic state or whatever,
Yeah.
but like that's just how she worded it, and so people are like okay, like now she's like really a diva. um and to bring it back to a lighthearted place, I think the only person getting more diva headlines than Chappell Roan at this point is Mudang.
Yeah. Do you want to explain that to me?
You don't know Mudang?
I know the pictures. I don't know the diva allegations.
Mudang, she's biting everyone.
Oh, okay. Cool.
She's biting everyone.
Get it, girl.
Someone, a monkey got into her enclosure the other day and assaulted her.
Well, so good for her for biting everyone.
She's biting the people.
Oh, well,
She,
she said,
every time
get this fucking monkey out of here. I know
when
who
they
has the
try
power.
when they try to give her food, she bites their legs. She's like, I love Mudang.
I saw that one guy, his name is escaping me, dressed as
Bowen
Mudang.
Yang.
Yes, and it was like a play on Chappell Roan. I saw that.
Yeah.
That was funny.
He said, I'm your favorite hippo's favorite hippo. It was cute. But there's drama in the Mudang community because apparently there's a penguin named Pesto who's also very cute and feels that he should be, or his zoo feels that he should be the top baby animal right now, but he certainly doesn't have what Mudang has. So,
No, of course not. Yeah, still like rooting for Chappell Roan. I
Yeah.
just it's a lot of it's a lot of like not good looks, and I
Yes.
think we have to figure out what that means.
Yeah.
Does that mean we have to all like reassess how we fan,
Yeah.
or is Chappell Roan not cut out
Yeah.
for this? I don't know.
My opinion is I do think that grace needs to be given
Mm-hmm. It
to,
was a
especially to
very
someone,
fast come up.
yes, especially to someone who is just now getting into like stardom. However, I also feel that coming from someone who is giving no grace
Mm-hmm. To
to
anyone
a
else.
presidential candidate for like one something she can't help, like that she's cisgender,
Mm-hmm.
like she can't make herself be trans, um but like two, like something that, like, I don't know, I think that like she is the vice president, like she can't
Mm-hmm.
call all the shots, you know?
Yes.
It's not
Yeah.
her job. And so like I think there are like, and I understand again like holding her accountable for like not saying anything or like not
Sure.
like putting something in her campaign, but like I
Sure.
think that she's holding her so accountable for those things, but and then making such like a careless mistake as like mispronouncing the name of a black woman,
Mm-hmm.
that like, and like the way she said it, like, I'm voting
Sure.
for fucking Kamala, like it was like
Yeah.
she was like pissed that she had to say it and she mispronounced her name. I think that like for someone who is not giving grace to others, like,
Yes.
should we hold her to the same standard of
Yeah.
like, no, like you did something that's like racist, like you could, like you should very well know how to say her name,
Yeah.
and you're intentionally not saying it that way.
I also think that probably there was a lot of pressure on someone who is very vocal about uh lots of issues
Yeah.
for Chappell Roan to say who
Right.
she was voting for. And I think that she wanted it to be different. Okay, fine, I'm going to vote for this person, but I'm not endorsing them. And
Hmm.
unfortunately, not any fault of her own, unfortunately, when you are a celebrity, if you publicly say that you're voting for someone, you've endorsed them.
Right.
You've endorsed them over the other person at the very least.
Yeah.
And so I hate that that's what she did not want to do, and that she was probably being like begged to say something. Um and now she's like being, I think everyone's mad because she made such a harsh distinction. I
Yes.
am not endorsing her,
Hmm.
but I also feel like she probably thought like the only way that I can do this is to tell them, yeah, I think people should still vote. Yeah, I'm still voting, but I'm not going to say it with my chest
Yeah.
that Kamala Harris is like my girl.
Yeah.
So we'll see. On to something else.
Hmm.
Okay,
Anything
moving
else?
right along. um, another cisgender gal. There's my segue. On the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, it's giving not much.
No.
Um, I must say, like, Lisa kind of putting on a whole damn show this season. Give it to us, girl. Also, I forget that this is 2 weeks, so I don't remember if we're missing anything from last week. Probably
Oh
not, I
yeah,
guess.
the premiere.
No, this was
No, not the
episode
premiere.
3.
Yeah.
But
No, yeah.
so we, and then we're getting a lot of Angie K.
Hmm.
We are
She's
also
so
seeing,
Greek.
this is
She is
interesting.
so Greek.
Yeah, this is interesting to me. We're getting a lot of, I think, very real like triggers from these women. I don't really know why they thought following the Monica season that we needed 3 friends or 3 new people, 2 of which are friends, to join the season. Could have had just Bronwyn, or we could have had nobody new and just kept our circle tight. But we see Heather, and I think a lot of the women are very nervous about these new girls.
Mm-hmm.
Heather is very like, okay, Bronwyn, I'm not understanding your like motives here,
Yeah.
because you sat in that car and you ripped Whitney to shreds. Yeah, so did I, but I know Whitney.
Yeah. We're
And
cousins.
you
We're
just
buzzing
got here.
cousins.
You just got here. Whitney accused me of talking about her vagina last year. I get to be mad at her.
Yeah.
2 years ago, whatever. And like, I think that they are very nervous to like let anyone in, and if the preview shows us anything, there are maybe going to be some of those problems again.
Yeah. And
But
I think,
otherwise,
like, Bronwyn was like, no, but I also said those things to Whitney. And I was like, did you not see that part?
no, I did, but she
Yeah.
didn't really say
She
them to
said she
Whitney.
said some of them to Whitney. She said, like,
Very
the part about,
differently.
like, oh, you must have practiced in the mirror.
Yes, she said them very
Yeah. It was
differently.
like lighthearted, like, oh, did you practice in the mirror?
Yeah.
Um Real Housewives of New York was also back
I know. I
this week.
haven't
I forgot to say
watched
that.
it.
Oh, I won't
Yeah.
tell you what's going on then.
I know. It's got a few new people, right?
Just one.
Just one. Okay.
Yeah.
So
She's
that's
and she's
exciting too.
she's a lesbian.
Oh,
She's
nice.
a friend of Jenna's.
Of course. So she must be.
Yeah, so she's
Jenna's only
obviously a
friends with
lesbian.
lesbians, of course.
And she's engaged to another woman. And then we also get to hear more about Jenna's girlfriend.
Nice.
Finally.
Well,
I'm sure the women are thrilled.
yeah. Well, all of those things we just said about Salt Lake City are not at all what we wrote down to say, because the only thing that stood out to us was that just episode 2, okay? This is going to come out the day before episode 4. So, episode 2, Mary Cosby, Whitney invites everyone to Milwaukee, and Mary Cosby says, oh my gosh, my father's from Milwaukee. I've never been. Then this episode starts and she says, I love Milwaukee. What?
Yeah. She said, my dad used to live a street away from Jeffrey Dahmer, and when he was walking to work, he smelled a smell. And about a week later, he was arrested. Sammy
She said he saw the whole thing. I think he's just nosy.
Sammy was fascinated by Mary Cosby in this episode. Left like everything she said, he was like, huh? So he's like, how did he smell a smell from a street away? I said, you're not listening. She said when he walked to work from that street away, when he passed the building is when he smelled the smell. And then she got to the part telling people that they could hold their pee with a tampon. And he was like, does she pee onto the tampon? And I was like, no, like she's saying that it's like a plug. Like she doesn't have to pee because she's got a
I was not paying enough attention.
Yeah.
I missed the tampon part.
Okay, so at the game, the basketball game, they said they were going to the bathroom and they're like, Mary, do you need to come? And she was like, oh, I don't pee in public. And they were like, what?
How?
What do you mean? And she was like, oh, like I just hold it until, and they're like, wow, like that's impressive. And she's like, oh, no, you just put in a tampon and then you won't have to pee. My question is, your tampon does not go in where you pee. In case anyone didn't know that.
Yeah, like my question is, does Mary Cosby just need an anatomy lesson?
Right. Also, if she's not on her period, she's raw dogging a tampon.
She's pulling that shit out dry.
And right, because she's not peeing. So
even if she was, it's not gonna get on it.
She was saying you need like, she was like talking about like what size you need. She was like giving these women like advice on how to hold their pee so they don't have to use public restrooms using a tampon. And Sammy was like so confused. He was like, is she using it like a diaper? Like she's peeing on the tampon? And I was like, no, like she's not peeing at all. And she's saying that she doesn't have to pee because she's wearing a tampon. That doesn't make any fucking sense.
That's incredible.
I have, look, I'm about to subtly brag on everyone. I have not had a period since 2017. And even when I did, I know for a fact that when I wore tampons, I still had the urge to pee. Like,
I do pee when I'm on my period. Believe it or not.
I never in my life felt like, oh, like I don't have to pee because I've got a cork in there.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah. This is the phenomenon that I hate about Mary Cosby. I didn't want her back because I think she's a problematic human being.
Yeah.
And I think that it's really kind of gross that we ignore her church's allegations and
her racism.
Her racism. So I don't like having Mary Cosby.
Yeah.
But damn, is she entertaining, dude?
I love Mary Cosby isms.
I know, like, it's like she continues to confirm why they kept her on the freaking show, and I like hate it because I don't think she should be there, but it's so entertaining, dude. Yeah. Why would you, as Bravo, why wouldn't you?
I know.
Why wouldn't you?
They were like, last season was so tough for these women, we need someone to just make them laugh. And
maybe say a little bit of racist shit, but like, and mostly laugh.
They're like, typically when she says racist things, it's not to their face, and we're not going to have any more Asian housewives, so we should be fine.
Yeah, Maylee probably is a little, but
yeah. Whatever.
Anyway, that's all we got. Yeah. That Mary Cosby is the star, whether we like it or not.
So, last tidbit. Love is Blind is back. Season 7, baby. We're both still on episode 1, so bear with us. But here's what I have to say. Have we learned nothing from Megan Foxgate?
Did someone compare themselves to a celebrity?
This man went on there, and his girl, she said, like, oh my, like, he was talking about how he, like, played football, and he was in the XFL and the CFL, and and she was like, oh my god, like, we could be, like, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, and he was like, I'm better looking than Travis Kelce. And she was like, oh, okay. No, he fucking isn't, first of all. Yeah. Then he was like, well, who's, like,
and she the way you're saying it, she knew.
She's like,
I really doubt that.
He was like, I bet you're more attractive than Taylor Swift. She's like, I'm not. Mm-mm. Please don't make that assumption. No. Then he says, like, who's your celebrity crush? And she's like she says, like, Henry Cavill, and he's like, oh, like, I actually look like Henry Cavill, but like a less buff version. No, he doesn't. He doesn't look like Henry Cavill.
Y'all gotta stop.
I don't even find Henry Cavill that attractive. I'm not into Henry Cavill's kind of look, but he doesn't look like him. And he's certainly not more attractive than Travis Kelce. But she just broke up with him, so.
I do remember the XFL guy. I just haven't gotten to that part.
He's gross.
All right. I would like to invite everyone.
An hour of your time.
Do you have a little more time tonight? Perhaps about 10 minutes. Just kidding. It'll be way more than that. I would like to invite you all
10 minutes
to join me because I can't stop watching the P Diddy theories videos. I can't stop. It's all I do all day. And I need some companions. So, I don't know if Mary has read my Conspiracy Hour notes yet. No. But, Mary, please, any and all things that you've heard, think, consider are welcome here. Same goes for listeners. Comment if what I read or saw on TikTok was wrong. But also, tell me, out-of-pocket crazy shit, please. Mm-hmm. What do you think? So, welcome to Conspiracy Hour. First, let me preface that P. Diddy committing crimes is not a conspiracy. He has been arrested. We're hearing that over 120 sexual assault allegations are still to come. There is, though, a lot of theorizing on how far this thing goes, how many people are involved, how long has this been happening, and how many people P. Diddy has had killed over the years. So, yeah. Oh, also, I'll add here that we're at before the end of October getting a Chris Brown documentary from the same people that made Quiet on Set.
I did watch the Demi Lovato.
Was it good?
Yeah, it was good. It was like certainly not to the level of Quiet on Set, and there's a part where Kenan Thompson says to her like, "No, you got so lucky that you were on Disney Channel and not Nickelodeon." Like he's like, "Y'all were in so much better a place
Hands.
than
Sure.
we were." And
Yeah.
like, and even when she's talking about like how being on Disney Channel fed like into her eating disorder, and like she's talking to Allison Stoner, and she says like everyone had an eating disorder on Disney Channel pretty much, and like, but like he was still like, no, like you're so lucky. Which is sad.
Yeah, it is. But we're going to start with the cold hard facts. The indictment alleges that P Diddy coerced women and others around him to fulfill his sexual desires, protect his reputation, and conceal his conduct. He is also being accused of facilitating the assaults of women and minors, i.e., sex trafficking, which is one of the charges he's facing. In almost every P. Diddy video that you might watch, if you are me, the background song is J. Cole's She Knows. She knows. I know she knows. So fun. In which he says, "Rest in peace to Aaliyah. Rest in peace to Left Eye. Michael Jackson, I'll see you just as soon as I die." People think that in addition to Diddy almost definitely being the one who put a hit out on Tupac.
How old was P Diddy when Tupac died?
I think around the same age. They had like a known feud.
I guess I don't know how old P Diddy
Yeah,
is.
I do that all the time. I'm like, Tupac, he wasn't alive.
He's a million years old.
Yeah, that was forever ago. But there's a video of Tupac where the interviewer says there was an attempt on his life, and the interviewer says, like, "Do you think Puff was involved in this?" And he said, "I know Puff was involved in this. I don't need the police involved. I'm gonna handle this between me and Puff."
Like when people are like, "No, like Tupac is still alive," and you're like, "No, he would be like 100 if he was still." There's no way he's still alive because he's a billion years old, and P Diddy is 12.
Oh,
so
okay.
No, how old is
Tupac died in 1996.
I wasn't even born yet. So he is a billion years old.
At 25 years old, P. Diddy is 54.
Oh my god. I hate to say it, but that man has aged well. No, he certainly doesn't look 54.
I kind of think he do
you want to hear something painful?
When he smiles, I kind of think he does.
Yesterday, one of my kids said, "How old were you when you were in school?" I said, "Which school? Like college, high school?" And they were like, "High school." I said, "I graduated in 2015." They said, "Oh, I was born in 2017." And then I threw up on them.
And threw up on the street.
Yeah, I said, "I know.
Waiting for a bus to hit me.
Trust me, I fucking know."
Yeah, great. Thank you.
Okay, so they're the same age.
Yes.
Okay.
So, people feel pretty confident that Puff is responsible for Tupac's death.
P. Diddy is Puff?
Yes.
Okay, sorry.
Puff, Daddy, P. Diddy, Sean Combs.
Yeah.
Also in the indictment, there's an AKA Love. I've never heard him called Love. Maybe he was back in the day. Anyway, got a lot of names. So people also think that he is responsible for Aaliyah's fatal plane crash, possibly because she once turned down Jay-Z, or because she was a threat to Beyonce's career, which is a big part of this, apparently, because it sounds like the three head honchos, top rungs of this, might be P. Diddy, Jay-Z, and Beyonce. In no particular
Because
order.
they're lizard people.
I don't know what that means.
That they're in the Illuminati.
Oh, yeah, sure. I was like, lizards? um, they also think he was responsible for Left Eye, who is Lisa Lopez from TLC, being in a fatal car crash in Honduras. I am not sure what the theories are. Actually, I kind of am, but I'm not sure what the exact theories are about Michael Jackson and P. Diddy, but a lot of outlets are reporting that when they raided P. Diddy's house, they found a tunnel from his house to Michael Jackson's house. Other outlets are saying,
how close together did they live?
That's not true. I think it's pretty close.
Okay, I do have something absolutely wild to say.
You say it. So, wilder than a tunnel?
Yes.
Oh.
So the lizard people.
Mm-hmm.
Sammy and I just finished a docuseries called Out There. It's on Hulu. It's new, and it's about how like conspiracy theories have like created true crime cases.
Mm-hmm.
And the first episode is about the bombing in downtown Nashville in 2020. Do you remember this?
Mm-hmm.
Or like Christmas? And so we were watching it, and Sammy, for the second time now that we've watched a docuseries, he said, "Oh, we know someone who is involved in that." And I said, "You gotta start fucking telling me when people you know are involved in crimes. This is crazy."
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so we were like talking about it, and I was like, I didn't realize, but the guy who set off the bomb, he did it because he believed in lizard people and that they were like taking over the world. And he like bombed, he was like intentionally bombing like the phone company building, because like he thought that it was being run by lizard people and that the government is run by lizard people, and people think that Beyonce and Jay-Z are lizard people.
Right.
So maybe he was right.
Mm-hmm. Could be. People are feeling pretty. Okay. Also, I guess I'll say Jay-Z's name is Sean Carter. Beyonce's last name is Knowles, as everyone knows. People are saying that She Knows is a play on Sean and Knowles.
Okay.
Maybe not. Okay. But this is Conspiracy Hour where everything's welcome. Okay. So people think that Jay-Z is P. Diddy's right-hand man, or possibly even more culpable. They point to how close Jay-Z was with R. Kelly, who married an underaged Aaliyah. They also point to Jay-Z, who started dating Beyonce when she was 19 and he was 31.
Yeah, we need more people to be disturbed by that.
Mm-hmm. Not. I understand it's not a crime, but it's weird. All eyes are on Beyonce and Jay-Z as we are seeing an absurd amount of acceptance speeches where people are like thinking or saying like Beyonce should have gotten this. Harry Styles gave a speech where when he won, Beyonce had already stood up and everyone like is showing that she like stood up because she thought she was going to win. And like, obviously this is through the lens of this now, but people say that the people who did win like look terrified every time. And that like they go up there and Harry Styles and Adele and Britney Spears and all of these people, Lizzo, they go up and they say like, Beyonce's work was incredible. Thank you so much. But like they can't like not acknowledge that like she should have won, I guess.
I'm suddenly like very invested in this.
Yes. So they believe that these people were like scared for their lives. Mm-hmm. Like Aaliyah may have been killed because she was a rising star. Left Eye could have been killed because she was a rising star. We'll get into a couple more, but basically people then went as far, sorry, this isn't allowed in Conspiracy Hour. People have gone as far as to say that perhaps Kanye West was saving Taylor Swift's life.
Because she didn't know to say Beyonce should have won.
Maybe. In which case I say the millions of other awards that she's won since then hasn't gotten her killed.
But she's like friends with Beyonce.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's true.
She
But she's not been in the P Diddy circle in any way that we know of, and as far as like been to his parties, been around him. So
I sure fucking hope not.
So one of them that like people are really stuck on is like a Britney Spears one. That they're like, I always thought this was weird that she wouldn't stop talking about Beyonce. I'm trying to think. I don't know. Yeah. So that's concerning, which does make people say like, or is Beyonce actually the head of all this?
Just a headless.
Or are these men just like killing people for her because she makes them money and like who knows? But there are also ample videos going around of men in the industry, just other famous men, notably Mike Tyson, French Montana, Travis Scott, clearly being uncomfortable with the way that P. Diddy touches them.
Mm-hmm.
On Ellen, he's like rubbing French Montana's leg. Mike Tyson had to physically move P. Diddy's arm off of him in another interview. Denzel Washington threw Jay-Z off of him too. He said, nope.
I was just about to mention him.
Mm-hmm.
So the couple things that I've seen, one is like that there's supposedly a video of P. Diddy, Chris Brown, and Leonardo DiCaprio having a party. And I haven't seen the video, but I did see like supposedly a screenshot of the video. You can never trust things too much these days, so I don't know for sure. But in the screenshot, the three of them are on a bed and they're all wearing towels. And that is all they're wearing. But it's just a screenshot, so I don't know what's going on. But then I also saw about Denzel Washington like leaving a party of P. Diddy's and like getting in his face and screaming at him and saying you don't respect anyone, and then before he left, and then like something about that like something happened between him and P. Diddy and Denzel Washington's wife. That like that's why he was screaming at him, and that like that they had been going to P. Diddy's parties, and then after that they didn't go to them anymore.
Yeah. There's also a video that although like Kanye West does seem to be like it possibly involved in this group of people, there is a video where he very urgently jumps between P. Diddy and his children. P. Diddy's like walking up to Kanye's children and he's like steers him to the other side. So it seems that people...
Well, I mean, if you're involved in this, then you probably know why you need to stay away from your children.
Yep. So, yeah. Other men in various videos have said... There was this one interview and the interviewer was like, so you're saying like you don't want to bring your girl to a Diddy party and like leave her alone? And he said, you don't need to worry about your girl around Diddy. You need to worry about you. So, yeah, there's that.
It sounds like you need to worry about both.
Yes, I think you need to worry about your girl around Diddy's friends.
Mm-hmm.
And you need to worry about you around Diddy himself. So, of course, people think that Justin Bieber is likely a Diddy victim.
Mm-hmm.
He's known to be... He was mentored by Usher and Diddy. I personally wonder if we're going to find out Usher's maybe like a Drake Bell moment. Like maybe he's a little bit of victim turned perpetrator. I don't know. That's totally a Katie theory. No. He then mentored little like young boys after. Yes. And so I just wonder if there was a cycle.
Yeah. I also have seen now that people are pointing out, like, just because, like, I mean, we've seen, like, all the videos of, like, Taylor Swift being interviewed where, like, that one that she's like, "I think you're gonna go home with lots of men," and, like, we
Mm-hmm.
always, like, talk about, like, how gross interviewers are to women, but there's
Mm-hmm.
also a lot of videos now resurfacing of Justin Bieber as a teenager being
Yep.
interviewed by women,
Mm-hmm.
and there's
We've all already seen that
one.
Jenny McCarthy video, right? Like we've known that
Yes,
one, but it's like
yes.
a lot now.
There's one from The View? Is that the one with
Yeah,
Julie Chen?
I don't remember if
Whichever one
that's
Julie
what she
Chen
was
is on.
on then, but yeah.
Julie Chen asks him, of all the hosts, which one would he date?
Of all of these women over
Then
40, he was
yes.
17 when she asked that.
Then I can't remember who it was. Another person asked him, "What age do you want to?" He said, like, your parents got married at 20. What age did you want to get married, and how many kids do you want to have? And he said, "I'm 17." And she said, 17 kids. And
Mm-hmm.
he said, "No, I am 17 years
Mm-hmm.
old." And
Yeah.
then in the same interview, another woman asked him, "Would you rather have to be
Leah
on
Remini,
stage?"
I think.
Yes, it was. Asked him, "Would you rather be on stage naked for a full song or eat or drink blended
Blended
worm?"
worms. Yeah.
And he was like,
He
"What?"
said, I perform in front of young girls. She said, forget the laws.
No.
No.
You've already forgotten the laws. He's a child.
Yeah. We got your philosophy, Leah Remini. Got it.
She's our Scientology queen.
Yeah.
Uh
It seems that there are a lot of videos where Justin Bieber seems uncomfortable, and
yeah.
this could just be like he was young. It could
Mhm.
also be that we're reading a lot into it now. But like there's one where Diddy's like, I've been calling you, and he's like, uh yeah, like you've been calling through my people. Like, I guess if you want to hang out, you should reach out to like my personal number. And it's like he just seems like so nervous. People are talking about Yummy
Mhm.
and believe that Yummy could have been written about this. I understand that's weird.
Yeah.
So fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, there is behind the scenes footage of the Yummy music video where Justin Bieber is like fully breaking down and like crying and talking about how hard it is to shoot that video, which is like strange, right?
Yeah.
Like it's a
It's
fun
upbeat.
video.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, the kind of like premise of the video is that these people who happen to all be adults are eating dessert and cake off of these plates that when the plate is cleared is young Justin Bieber's face on it.
Mhm.
So people think like symbolism for like adults
Taking from him.
eating off of him when he was young.
Benefiting off of him.
Sure. And I think like in a world of like Taylor Swift level Easter eggs,
Mhm.
it can often feel like this is a reach.
Mhm.
But I'm going to talk about Billie Eilish next too. And I think that like, but if you consider this in a world where like you can get murdered
Mhm.
by P Diddy, then like, yeah, you're going to keep it like, you might say, let me put this in an upbeat song.
Yeah.
So anyway, the lyrics, you're incriminating, no disguise, you ain't ever running low on supplies. Could he be talking about thousands of bottles of baby oil?
800 dildos.
Truly. Uh Also, people theorize that it's actually a play on you got that young me. Like you had the young me.
Mhm.
I don't know. Maybe. Maybe.
Sean Knowles.
Uh-huh.
Sean Knowles. Sean Knowles.
People are also saying that Meek Mill, I have not seen this, but they're saying that Meek Mill and Diddy have admitted to sleeping with Justin Bieber. Maybe sleeping? I
Mm.
don't know. But there is a photo that seems to be of Diddy and Justin in bed together, like cuddling.
Mhm.
Again, I don't know what's AI and what's not.
Yeah.
many people wonder if Billie Eilish was a victim, maybe not a Diddy victim, but of something at his parties. Justin Bieber has spoken publicly about trying to warn and save her specifically from dark parts of the industry. There's a video that people say is the day after both of them were at a Diddy party, and she
Mm-hmm.
like walks up to Justin Bieber and she like looks at him and she's like, and it's like almost that like, I don't know how to describe it, but like when you look at someone who just saw you do something really embarrassing the night before,
Mm-hmm.
and you're like, damn, like we both know that thing,
Mm-hmm.
and like, are we supposed to talk about it?
Mm-hmm.
And then she hugged him and immediately just starts like bawling into his shoulder, like just crying. And so people wonder what happened to her that night. People also wonder if her song When the Party's Over could be about this, because that song does seem to be about an assault. And people are pointing to a lot of different celebrities' imagery in their videos. She's
Mm-hmm.
dressed in all white in When the Party's Over, and Diddy is known for his white parties. So people think that like those things could be connected. People also think Justin Bieber kept Selena Gomez protected from this for a long time when they were together, that she never seemed to go to Diddy parties when they were together. She didn't really run in this circle. There is, I don't know if you've seen it in the past. I feel like you would have. There's this video of her on like a red carpet. She's wearing like a highlighter yellow green dress. And everyone's like, man, Selena Gomez is sloshed. She's like falling everywhere. She's stumbling the whole time. Now people say that that is the day after a Diddy party, and that's like recent, like she's not
Mm-hmm.
with Justin Bieber in those. um and she's like in the videos she's saying like, oh my god, I can't walk, like I can't walk
Mm.
at a red carpet. And so it's just, yeah, there's
Scary.
all these videos of people like acting strange the next day. There's some of young Justin Bieber, and obviously there's videos of Diddy with Justin Bieber saying, this was pretty damning last night. I watched this one. He says like, Justin here knows that there's a lot of stuff he should not say about what happens when he's at Diddy's house. And I'm like, who? Not calling the police on this. But Mary, I would like you to buckle in for what I think is going to be your absolute favorite part of this section,
Okay.
where we are going
Brittany
to take
Murphy?
a big fat look at Ashton Kutcher,
No.
who we've talked about here before, and
Mm-hmm.
not for a glowing review,
Yeah.
not for good things, but for when he defended his friend Danny Masterson, the rapist.
Let's also talk about how when he met his wife, she was 14.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And he was 20. I guess we should clarify.
Yeah.
So
He was not a child.
Yeah, he was not 14. So Ashton Kutcher is known for being close with P Diddy since 2003. In fact, he said on Hot Ones that there's a lot about Diddy parties that he cannot tell.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, as we suspected.
Right.
People are now pointing to Brittany Murphy's death, who was very close with both men, and she ended up dead from pneumonia, which is the exact same way that Diddy's ex-girlfriend Kim Porter died.
Have you seen the Brittany Murphy biopic from Lifetime?
I haven't.
It's literally like, no,
Yeah.
she did not die of pneumonia. Thank
Yeah.
you for telling. There's a morbid episode about it too.
Kim Porter's family has said that like they have some sort of like autopsy evidence that there was poison in her system. I'm not sure if that's like the same for Brittany Murphy, like if it is ending up being like exactly the same
Mm-hmm.
things in her system. But come on now, that's
Yeah.
concerning. And I think we should actually take this back to the discussion that we had about him and Danny Masterson. So you might recall that we read something to you posted by a Danny Masterson survivor, and it read, "Dear Ashton, I know the secrets that your role model keeps for you, ones that would end you. Did you forget I was there? You were on speakerphone that night. You called Danny on February 21st, 2001. I heard everything. I heard the plan. Well, friends, apparently on February 21st, 2001, Ashton Kutcher was set to be going on a date with Ashley Ellerin, but instead she was found in her home killed by 47 stab wounds.
Isn't there like some other connection to like a murder for him?
This?
This is it?
Yes. What do you mean? What else do you need?
I don't know. I thought that there was like another story of like him like knowing someone who was like kidnapped and murdered or something.
I mean, if this, I don't know, because I don't know if you're just saying this story doesn't match what you've heard, but he's supposed to be going on a date with this woman. He pulls a straight up trailside killer where he's like, oh man, it just didn't happen. He says, Ashton Kutcher says, actually, Mary, let me give you these details. He says he went to pick her up after he called her twice. When he got to her house and looked in her window, he saw wine all over her carpet and assumed he had been stood up.
Hmm.
If he has another close call for a different murder in addition to Brittany Murphy and this woman, that's crazy.
Yeah.
What the heck? Ashton Kutcher is a murderer?
I mean, it seems like everyone is now in Hollywood.
Yes, but I think the silver lining for the Diddy murders are that he hires hitmen. In 2001, Ashton Kutcher and Diddy weren't even friends yet, at least that we know of. And so are you, but like me knowing that Ashton Kutcher himself stabbed a woman 47 times potentially
Right.
is crazy talk. That's world shattering. Not that I was like an Ashton Kutcher fan, but I do like some Cheaper by the Dozen.
It's true. But do you know what he was in Cheaper by the Dozen?
A butthole.
The villain.
Yeah.
He was the villain.
Mm-hmm. I want to watch that dog attack his nuts again.
Yeah. That dog is so Louis coded.
Yeah. Well, ultimately, I want to offer my apologies, although I can't change who I am. But I want to offer my apologies that I am like reveling in this. This is going to be very, very bad.
Yes.
And it is going to be very, very far reaching. And whether these little details of my conspiracy hour are true or not, I think that much we can bet on.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be horrific and it's not going to be funny.
Yeah.
But like watching how this is like spiraling has been very entertaining.
Yeah.
I cannot wait for not only the 50 Cent documentary, but any documentaries they want to give me.
Yeah. I remembered what I was going to say now. I feel like when we got Quiet on Set, like one of the things they talked about was Leonardo DiCaprio and his relationship with Pickled Guy, Brian Peck, and that like there was like speculation of that there was something that he may have been a victim before Drake Bell and like all these things, but he's never said anything about it. And so and then now we're hearing that he is maybe involved in these Diddy parties, and I wonder if there's a reason he hasn't said anything for fear of like being exposed for things that happened at the Diddy parties. But then I also wonder, or I also feel that what is like, I don't know, I feel like him and Justin Bieber both are kind of being like pressured to admit that something happened to them, and I also think that like that's not fair. And I think that like for Drake Bell, like nobody outside of like people who knew him had any speculation that he was the child that was like that took Brian Peck to court and whatever. And like so he didn't have that pressure put on him to
Mm-hmm.
say something. Like, he said something because, like, he wanted to and, like, he was choosing to. And I feel like if just at this point, if Justin Bieber says something, that, like, it's going to be because, like, people won't leave him alone.
Mm-hmm. It's true. It's
But
true that
also,
like
like, maybe he couldn't say anything before. Like, he was going to get more.
sure. Yeah, I mean I think that that is true that like when things come out inevitably through these like trials, I
Yeah.
think we need to accept that like we're going to use our context clues. And if you
Yeah.
want to hear the trial and you want to say I feel pretty confident that he probably did something to Justin Bieber,
Yeah.
you can think that.
Yeah.
Like I think that's okay for you to have like an opinion on what you think happened,
Mhm.
but Justin Bieber doesn't have to confirm that for you.
Right.
Like Justin Bieber's a dad now. He's like
Mhm.
got shit going on. He's got illnesses he's got to keep under control. Like
Mhm.
if we could just like leave people
Yeah.
alone.
I
Or
think people have
he's
difficulty towing the line between
yeah.
we should call out sexual offenders and we should hold them responsible for their actions and we should condemn their actions.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have been sexually assaulted or abused, that is
By
very personal for you.
yeah.
And you
Yeah, and
don't
I
have to tell someone.
yeah.
You don't have to tell the world.
And once we know that about these people, once we know that you are a pedophile or you
Hmm.
are a sexual
Yeah.
abuser, I don't
I don't need to know who you did it to.
I will assume that every child in your proximity was in danger.
Yes.
Whatever that means.
Yeah.
I will assume that everyone who went to that party that fit a certain age group,
Hmm.
um, that they were in danger or vulnerable in some way. And
Hmm.
like that's all I got.
Hmm.
So yeah, I also forgot to mention that there is at least one video going around of P Diddy when he like guest starred on a Nickelodeon show with like a bunch of kids, and I was like, of course.
Yeah. I did also see
Brian
something
Peck hang
about,
out at Diddy freak offs, probably.
I mean, Brian Peck was known for his parties too. I did also see something about, like, the similar to the Selena Gomez thing. There's a video, I guess, like an interview or red carpet, some kind of video of Britney Spears that people are now saying was the day after a Diddy
Yes,
party.
I've heard that
And
too.
I read it at first and I was like, is this the day she shaved her head? But it's not. It was something else. But, like, just
They did say that it was like a day that
all of these.
she was like people were talking about how drunk she was, and
Yes.
she insisted and has always
She
insisted
said
that
I
she
was
was
drugged.
drugged. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah. And I think that, like, there's so many videos of female celebrities
Just being
where,
off.
yeah, sorry, did Sammy was throwing
Mm-hmm.
something. Um, yeah, and that people are like, oh, like they're so drunk, like blah blah. Like
Mm-hmm.
there's a recent video of Hillary Duff, I think. Um, is it Hillary Duff? There's a recent video of someone who was a child actor talking about their child and, like, the name of their child, and, like, they seem high or
Mm.
or drunk, and people are it's like circulating and people are making fun of them and, like,
Hayden
saying that they need
Panettiere.
help. Yes, that's it. Saying that she needs help and, like, all of this stuff. And like then there's a video of someone from Watch What Happens Live
Mm.
being, like, super seemingly drunk. And I like all of them make me wonder, like,
Mm-hmm.
and, like, What Happens Live, is it because Andy Cohen forced this person to do cocaine? I guess we'll never know.
We'll
But,
never
like,
know.
like, it's just like now everything is kind of like in a different perspective. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and if they are drunk, maybe they're going through shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, people think Amy Winehouse, she like won an award over Beyonce, which again seems like very different eras to me.
Mm.
And didn't thank Beyonce or mention Beyonce, and then she ended up dead shortly after when everyone thought she had gotten sober. So it's just a lot of stuff that, like, yes, is maybe 4 of them could be true, but then everyone's going to talk about all 10 because it's
Mhm.
weird. So I like get that that's what makes it tinfoil hattish, but it's gonna be bad. In fact, the prosecutor said that soon he will be naming names and that it will be people who are bigger than Diddy. It will be people who we didn't see coming. It will include corporations like pharmacies, hotels, big companies, and so we
That's crazy.
should stay tuned.
That's absolutely crazy.
Mm-hmm.
This is the truest form of it goes all the way to the top.
Yeah. Yeah, I was looking at a list and it was like Barack Obama was once at an event with P Diddy and had his endorsement. Kamala Harris was once at a political event with P Diddy and had his endorsement. And I'm like, okay, now you're just listing black people.
Yeah, we can't assume that everyone who's ever been in the same room as P Diddy
Yeah.
circle.
I don't think Kamala Harris hangs out at Diddy parties.
Right. She's got shit to do.
Yeah, she's a busy girl.
But I mean, well, but she has no kids, so
it's fair.
she's not that busy. How do we segue?
Thank you for coming to Conspiracy Hour.
My introduction to Big Brother now feels inappropriate.
No.
Because I had written Ding Dong, the Witch is Dead.
Could have been Diddy.
Angela finally went home on Big Brother.
Thanks freaking God.
Yeah. In a double eviction, which I feel like that's the only way she was gonna go home.
Yeah.
Was like that nobody had time to think. They're like,
game
just
time
send Angela home.
Yeah.
And then her interview turned monologue with Julie was
weird.
It was exactly what you expected it to be. I saw someone say that they watched the whole thing on mute. She was just yapping her ass off. She said that she came on this show to find out who she was, but that she didn't need the show to find out who she was because who she became on the show is who she's always been. She's always been strong and independent and capable. And then she said,
"Why'd they get me out? Because I was gonna win.
Yeah, I was gonna win this show, Julie. If I stayed on this show, I would have won. I know it." And
that's
so
good.
Thank you. Leah also went home during the double eviction. She went home first. I love the jury house personally. Like I love when they show the jury house because I'm like, everyone finally just gets to vibe. Everyone's more likable. They're not competing with each other. But Angela is just as insufferable there.
Yeah. Can we
Bitch.
Can we talk? I feel like last night me and Billy glossed over this. This morning I called him and I said, we didn't talk enough about how mean Angela was to Quinn. She said
it too.
For like had to in real time have been like 20 minutes. She's sitting there going, y'all would not believe how ridiculous people in the house had the audacity to suggest that Leah would be interested in Quinn. Isn't that hilarious? And then it's like crickets. And she's like, it's hilarious, right? That would never happen. And everyone's like signaling to her like, it might.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
And Quinn's like so embarrassed until Leah saved the day. Yeah. So sweet of her. She said it was never that ridiculous to me.
Yeah. He said, yeah, that's so, he like, not to her, but he's like, yeah, that's so fucking funny, Angela. The idea that someone might be interested in me. That's so funny. And he was like, but I love that Leah stood up for me. Like,
yeah.
He was like, that's her best friend. And she was like, yeah, shut the fuck up, Angela.
He was hot. So funny when he was like, I'm a Leah fan. Arrest me.
Take me away, officer. I'll admit it. I'm guilty. And then he was like, Angela never thought I could do it. And you know what? I know America didn't think I could do it either. And I did.
Because Mary's out here on her podcast thinking I'm gay. That must have been what Angela thought too.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what Angela was trying to prompt Quinn to be like, actually, I don't like Leah because
it was brutal.
She said biggest twist of the season. And I literally said out loud, not for us.
Yeah. I think I said the same thing. I was like, no, like
for
we all saw this coming. Yeah, and then after she said that she did have a crush on him, she was like, Leah, like, and Leah was like, I know,
I
and I was like,
know.
you're making it worse.
I know. I needed Leah to not act like it was embarrassing.
Yeah,
I needed her to be like, "Do you see him? Like, look
yeah,
how
he's
cute."
my man. Thank you to my
Quinn,
man.
well, and then I thought maybe Leah was gonna say to Quinn, like, "We'll talk later," but then Angela goes, "We'll talk later" to
Yeah,
Leah, and I'm like, I don't think you need to.
yeah, I think it's cut and dry. Um, Also, we've been talking through this whole season, like, what do Angela's family members think of her
Yeah.
performance?
Are they like,
Like, are
yes,
they
that's
like,
her?
that's our girl, or are they like,
What
oh
happened to
god?
you?
I finally saw a TikTok of her daughter,
Okay.
and it appears they are fully living in the delusion with her.
Oh,
So her
they also
daughter,
think she was gonna win?
yes,
Okay.
her daughter posted something about Matt and said
That's a good
that
start.
it's like so like disturbing or like weird that he was only in the house for a week and he can't stop posting about her mom. And this is like in response to a TikTok he posted dancing to Zingbot's song.
That you are obsessed with men half your age. Half
Yes.
your age. Yeah.
Yes. Um which I would argue is actually Big Brother continuing to talk about
Mm-hmm.
Matt
Right.
with Angela, who has also continued to talk about Matt on
Yeah.
the show since he left. But so she was like, basically, like, you're not even relevant. Like, my mom's going to win this show. And like, it's weird that you're still talking about her when like she's in the jury house and you only spend a week in the Big Brother house. And like, I was like, okay, like this tracks.
Mm-hmm.
She
Okay,
raised,
good.
she raised herself.
Okay. Man, I was really hoping it was like just
Like
her.
that they were going to get home and be like, Mom.
Girl, you've embarrassed
Yeah.
us.
Us in the group chat yesterday.
Yeah. Our poor mom. Mom, we do love you.
But oh no.
But oh no.
Also, Cam blaming his god awful gameplay on the yips took me the fuck out. I could not stop laughing. I was like, not the yips. He said, have you ever heard of the yips? And I immediately said, oh my god. He's like, tell me he's joking. Like, I could not.
Yeah.
And she was like, no.
Mackenzie's like, obviously I haven't.
Yeah, she's like, I'm incredible. Shut the fuck up. I don't know what the yips are. Now you're giving them to me.
Yeah, I think arguably more entertaining was Mackenzie playing really to a T the role of the overly intense sports dad. And she's like, I'm gonna put him on the block because I know that there is no possible way that he sucks this bad. So he must be throwing it. And then she's finally like, maybe he does just suck this bad.
He said, no, Dad, I'm throwing away your dream.
Yeah. I literally, as she was giving her little speech about how there's no way he could actually have done worse than chemo, like, she's like, Cam, you did worse than chemo. And I'm like, y'all are being so mean. As she was doing that, I was like, I don't want to meet her dad. Like, and then we did.
Yeah, she said, well, and I was laughing during the comic book. She was like, I know that it's the one with my dad on the left, not on the right, because she said like one of the characters looked just like her dad. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm not that that's actually your dad.
Yeah.
But I think I would be rooting fully for Mackenzie if she had put Cam on the block,
Okay.
because I kind of liked the idea of like, I've been working with these three people the whole time, so like they
Yes.
know that they can trust me, but I also want Rubina to trust me
Yes.
and show that I'm like for the girls. I really liked that idea.
I thought that was very like thinking ahead
Yes.
strategy to say
Yes.
like, yeah, it's gonna piss Cam off. What's he gonna fucking win and what's he gonna do to
Right.
me about it?
What's gonna
So
happen?
whatever.
Exactly.
And I'm gonna like Mackenzie was gonna be the tiebreaker vote either way.
Yes.
So she knew that like she had control of who left. So if she took Rubina off and put Cam up, Rubina would have voted for chemo, Chelsea or to stay. Chelsea would have voted for Cam to stay. Makensy would have broke it, but then she now can say to Ravina, like, I didn't want you up there. Right.
Yeah.
It's us three.
Right.
I thought that was smart too.
I do too. I wish she had followed through with
they're
it.
both being
Yes.
very smart.
But I hope it's one of them that wins. I loved Chelsea talking game with the fish.
Yes.
That was my favorite thing ever. And your Uncle Cam.
Yeah.
Auntie Chelsea and Uncle Cam. I said, girl, you need to stop.
I think I'm rooting for Chelsea.
Mm-hmm. Jury is too.
Would be fine, I guess. Like, obviously over Rubina and Cam. Like, I'd rather Makensy. But I think Chelsea has been very, very, like, has been top tier, smart Big Brother player since day one. Makensy showed up in the later half. I think Makensy, we were talking about her at first and we were like, hello, when are you going to start talking to people? Yeah, you're winning comps when you need to, but like, when are you going to start doing anything? And now she's playing very hard, which is great. But I think Chelsea's been playing that way the whole time.
Agreed.
And watch Cam win.
I would die.
And it's so funny to me that he's like, he said, like, eventually I'll win something. Buddy! Buddy! It's the Final Four.
He said every time he said something, Chelsea was like, "Sir," I was like, "She's gonna say that she's on board with getting him out," and then she was like, "I need you to stay." When he was like, "I took some breaks."
Yes.
I was like, his physical therapist self is like, I don't want to overwork myself. Like, I need a break, but that's not what you're here for.
Yeah, I will say this week and maybe last week, I don't know if the pressure is just getting to her. Chelsea's realizing, like, I could actually win this, but she's messing up a lot. Yeah. Like, when she said to Angela, like, I just need anyone to volunteer to go up next to you. And then she's like, oh, I just told her that. Or when she's talking in the supply room out loud and Cam's like, I can hear you. And she's playing them off well. Yeah. It's not hurting her that bad, but I think she needs to be careful.
Yeah. All right. Last thing.
Joan!
Our girl. First of all, let me just say, if I were the Golden Bachelorette, I would end the show now. I would choose Kelsey's dad immediately. I think he's hot as hell.
He is, yeah.
I think he's got the charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent that Joan needs. He dressed up in a shark costume this week and was like holding her and like playing. They were like playing, and he like was like kissing her neck in the shark costume, and I was like, why am I into this? Like, what the fuck is happening? And then last week he was talking, he's an army veteran, and so he was talking about like the time he spent in Germany, that he picked up some German, and he's like asking her questions in German and having her guess what he's saying. And he asked her, can I kiss you? And she's like, oh, can I cuddle? And he was like, very close. You're very close.
We could do that too, Joe.
He said, it's can I kiss you? And she said, you could have asked me that in English. He's so fucking hot. I can't. Anyway. Apparently next week they're going to be Chippendales. So I'm thrilled.
Whoa.
Please send Mark on that group date. A little bit of drama this week.
Okay.
Just a little. Apparently, Kim has been desperately, consistently asking the other men to sing a song to Joan with him.
Okay.
And they've been like
novice to do it alone.
Yeah, he said it's a group thing. They've been like kind of wishy-washy about it, like, oh yeah, like that sounds cute, like that's fun. But then he actually finished writing the song. And he brought it to them, and he sang it for everyone, and he said, this is what we're gonna sing to Joan. It was pretty good. He was good at singing. The song was, I mean, it was cheesy.
Was it cute though?
Yeah. It was like, I don't remember. It was kind of like, it was like, we're the men of the Bachelor Mansion. We're the mansion men.
Okay.
I don't know. Anyway. he gets done. He sings his heart out for them. And he's like, we're going to sing this song for Joan at the rose ceremony. Finally, it's happening. And they say, no.
No.
They say, we don't want to do that. And he said, but it's our song. And
No.
they said, no, Dad, it's your song.
No.
And he said, like, he, like, really tried to convince them. He's like, no, I wrote it for all of us. It's our song together.
Because
And
you
they
told
were
me
like,
you were going to do this with me.
and they were like, we had no part in writing that song, and we don't want to sing it. That's your thing.
Were they that
And
mean?
they were like, no, we're not doing it.
No.
Ultimately, everyone backed out except for Guy. And
Well,
then,
great.
and then, when after they sang to Joan, and she cried, she loved it so much. And then when Kim got sent home,
No.
Guy followed him out to say goodbye to him. He said he was like doing his interview, and Guy came up and he said, "Are you even allowed to be out here?"
Wait, they're besties
Guy said, "I had to come say bye to you," and then they sang the song again.
together to the camera. Cute.
Cute. Also, we have a king in our midst. I don't know if you've seen the publicity that Charles L.
People say, I've never cried. A man has never made me cry like Charles L.
Bless him. Bless Charles. Charles L. We love him. But he's killing me. Like, he misses his wife so much. It's devastating.
She's
And
just back at home.
Yeah.
The way you said it was like, he just wants to get back to her.
He really does.
We're so sorry for your loss, Charles.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to ridicule you.
It's sad. And like he said, like his daughters like sent him on the show because like after his wife died, he just was like depressed and he didn't do anything. And so they were like, no, like you have to go out there. And he was talking to one of the men about like when his wife died, and he said that like something that he's always felt guilty about is that like, and it was Guy. He was talking to Guy, and Guy is a doctor. And he was like, something I've always felt guilty about is that like on the day she died, like her mouth was full of blood. And so I was like, something was like so wrong with her and I didn't notice it. And Guy was like, oh my God, Charles, she bit her tongue. And he was like, what? And he's like, that happens all the time. Like, that happens a lot when people die. They bite their tongue and their mouths fill up with blood. Like, that's super normal. It was like not anything you did. And he was like crying. He was like, thank you. He's like, thank you for that. Like, for 6 years.
He thought that like the blood in her mouth signified that there was some greater issue that he should have caught.
Yes. And he was like, for 6 years, I have been beating myself up that like she was like dealing with some kind of pain. Why was there blood in her mouth and no one could tell me? And then he told Joan how that conversation went with Guy, and she was like, I'm like so thankful that like she was like, I can't believe you went this long not knowing that. And like I'm so thankful that like you have that now. And he's like, I feel so much better.
How have professionals never told him that?
I know. And like, do I know that Guy is 100% right? No, he might just be saying that. But like the fact that like he had like this guy he's known for like 3 weeks is like, oh my God, like Charles, of course that's not your fault. And then the first thing he does is go and tell Joan like how relieved he was to hear that. Oh, I love him. He made an Instagram account. And he posted a picture of himself warming his hands by the fire, and he posted it, and he said like, just as this fire has kept my hands warm, my fans have kept my heart warm. Like
okay.
That. He was like, you're just like the fireplace. It was so cute. Love him. Okay, anyway. I just had to say that. Anyway.
Good.
This week is sad. Joan sat all of the men down. She had a date. Okay, this was interesting. Her one-on-one date, he was pissed that he got the one-on-one date. actually. He was like
Okay.
crying. He was like, I hate this. Because he said at the group date, the worst thing that can happen is he doesn't get a rose,
Sure.
and because someone else does.
He's anxious.
On the one-on-one date, the worst thing that could happen is he doesn't get a rose and he goes home. And
Right.
so he was nervous. And so, but they had like a great time. But then Joan sees a hawk,
Okay.
and she says that the hawk is her husband.
Okay.
And it just like really like seems to have like stuck in her brain, because then at the at the cocktail party, she sits all of the men down, and basically she tells them that she people keep asking her if she's sure she's ready for love again. That apparently it hasn't been that long since her husband died. That like, is she sure she's ready? And she's like, yes, of course I am. And she's like, and now I know I'm not. And basically she says that she realized she can't like fully fall in love with someone because she will always be in love with her husband, and that like she understands that that's like a red flag for them, and that if they like are looking for something different, because all of them have a spouse that died, some of them
Sure.
are divorced, like there's one guy who was divorced and then he got engaged to someone else and she died. And
Mm.
like it's just, there's everyone's in a different situation, and she's like, I get it if that's like not your journey, like not what you're looking for. um but they rallied around her.
Nice.
I think
She was like,
especially
no, I was trying to leave.
especially the men who had lost their wives were
Sure.
like, no, I 100% agree with you, like, just a heads up, I will never love you the way I love my wife. But like, that's, I think, not what we're looking for at this phase. And like Kelsey's dad said the same thing. He's like, oh my god, like I get it, like Denise was the love of my life, and like she's the mother of my children. It's not going to be the same, but like that's
Mm-hmm.
okay. And then Gary showed up
Nice.
just in time. And she was so excited because apparently they have become very close friends. And she
Besties.
was like, yeah, she was like, oh my God, Gary, I'm so happy to see you. And she told him like all these feelings as well. And he kind of like reminded her what he had said on his season, that like he and now Joan had already found the person they wanted to build a life with. And they did build a life with that person. And now they're looking for someone to spend the remainder of their life with, like someone that they love,
Mm-hmm.
but like more like a companion than like
Mm-hmm.
a soulmate. Like it's, they're at a different phase in life. Pretty, I think all of these guys have kids, grandkids. Like Joan has kids and grandkids. Like it's just not the same need. And she said like, when I married John, I was looking for someone who would be a good father and someone who would be a good caretaker and husband and like provider for our family. And now I have a family and I provide for them. And like that's just not what I need anymore. But like
Mm-hmm.
I do want to find someone who makes me happy. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that that is beautiful. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that that also like is what makes it less drama than like regular bachelor and bachelorette. Like
Yeah.
one, they're old, they don't have time for this shit. But well, actually, I forgot to tell you. Have I told you about the French guy,
No.
Pascal? He's paying another man who actually got sent home this week, so I don't know how he's gonna deal with this. He's paying him $100 a load to do his laundry for him.
Mm.
And they were sharing a room, and he kicked him out of the room because he was snoring.
Mm.
This man is doing his laundry for him, and he said, "You can't sleep here anymore."
I'll pay you more.
Yeah, he's money.
That's
But
crazy.
yeah, but then the guy went home. But like, I think that, I don't know. I think that like, one, they don't have time for this shit except for Pascal apparently.
Mm-hmm.
But like two, it's like it's less competition, I feel like, because like you're not looking for the future mother of your children
Right.
and like all these things. Like you're looking for someone that you mesh with and vibe with and that you
Right.
can imagine like ending your life with. Not to be like
Yeah.
morbid, but like
Sure.
not, you're not gonna, like you're not looking for someone to grow old with you anymore.
Right.
You're looking for someone to like be with you
Mm-hmm.
for the future, that like is
I
just like someone who makes you happy.
Yeah, I think the lead always struggles with like, oh, I get along well with this person,
Yes.
but like the passion isn't there, or I
Yeah.
get along well with this person, but is it love or is it just lust or whatever?
Right.
And it's like in this situation, it's just like this is the person I'm getting along the most
Yeah.
with. Like, you
Yeah.
know?
Like a bestie.
Yeah.
But like if you pick Mark, a hot bestie.
Right. All right. Thanks
That's
for
all.
listening to our long episode.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.